Hi, my name is Honza and welcome back to the 6th episode of Cities Skylines, more precisely my new Manchester series. In this episode we will be building a recent development, not as recent as the one we built in episode 4, but recent in the 1990s or 1980s. It has been built on redeveloped industrial land, but there are still some light industry factories. Yeah, there's some light industry in there, mainly warehouses and things like, small manufacturing basically. So they manufacture things like, I don't know, yes, small gadgets, maybe textile, and other stuff. Basically the kind of industry that the city has had for a long time and is not as polluting and, giant as things like steel mills and other stuff. Basically a small industry. So, yeah. Also, you may have noticed that there is a lot of infrastructure that I built off camera, mainly a light rail line and a highway, basically. A small part of highway. I built it so that you wouldn't have to first watch it on camera, although some of you might think it was interesting. It was basically that I was just trying to place a network correctly and I had to demolish it like 6-7 times because something was off. And also I did some detailing on those crossings, so yeah. I did the details that I added light in the sense that I added lights on the crossing. It was already lit up a bit on those tram tracks, but I added a smaller, how it's called, I just added a light that shows where are the crossings. It's one of those like industrial lamps. I don't know. It's from the NAR set, from the North American Railway set by Tim the Terrible. I still use those tracks because they are a, how it's called, yeah, it's a required part for one of the stations I use, so I have to use it. But it also has some really nice props, and the tunnel light for it looks like those, god damn it, looks like those lights that you would see in a mine. I think those are, those are thorium lights. They use thorium and other radioactive, it uses thorium and it has this, it doesn't like burn the material or something. I don't know, it's complicated, but I know that one person tried to build a home nuclear reactor using those lights, like the thing, basically the inside of the lamp they try to use, and some other stuff to build a nuclear reactor. And actually I think they have been arrested, and they died because I think it was radiation sickness or something. I don't really remember right now who it was, but yeah. So now I'll start talking about what I'm actually doing and not about other stuff, but I might return to that topic, to these topics later on in the video, because this video is really long. I recorded like an hour and a half of footage, and I had to speed it up like 700% or something, so it wouldn't be just 1 hour and 30 minutes of just me trying to find a random asset or something. So yeah, now I'm building that light industry I was talking about, and yeah, it's basically those small buildings. They are mostly, I think, used for those, yeah, when you want something shipped, but you really don't have those giant logistics centers, so you have those small warehouses where you can pick it up. And now I'm adding those buildings under the bridge, so it doesn't look as, empty under the bridge. I'm using a lot of move it and other stuff because these roads don't have the grid. Yeah, it's the grid. It's called the grid under the bridge because the bridge is still too low. So I had to use move it to get the buildings there. And yeah, also there is now a small, now I'm adding a small office park, and I don't really know for what purpose is it, what offices are in there, but it's basically generic offices. And probably most of that area was built by some development company, like it was like with most of those areas built at that time, because there was that, how it's called, neoliberalism, and neoliberalistic capitalism, where basically you could do almost anything if you were a giant corporation. Now I'm adding some trees to it so it doesn't get noise pollution from the roads, and also some bushes. You may have seen me looking at some palm trees. I got those because I was looking and I found an interesting map that I might use for another series later on, and that map is a tropicals map. So yeah, I might make another series like next year or something. Yeah. So now I'm adding some apartments, and I was thinking about which I should use, and I decided to use a method of, those are like Astargia, how are they called? Astargia apartments? I don't know. But they have this really neat feature that the ground floor does not have anything. It's like empty, so you can put either just a normal ground floor, or you can put shops in there, which helps decrease the commercial zone demand, which is pretty high. Not as high as it was when I played off camera a while ago. The commercial and industrial demand were extremely high because I only built residential. But yeah, I'm adding some trees again, and those are some really giant trees, so I removed them and put some different trees because they were a bit smaller, and that large tree, they don't really look that realistic in this area because this is a new area. So maybe some fast growing trees, but giant trees here really don't make that much sense. and soon we'll be getting to the most interesting part. Yeah, now we're at the most interesting part. I'll be adding a new train station in here, and I'm still not really decided on the name of this station, but probably I'll name it New Manchester Victoria Street because it's on Victoria Street, and I'm just too lazy to name stations originally, so I just take a randomly generated name of a street that the game generated for me, and I'll use it for naming a station. It might not be that realistic because Victoria Street Station or Victoria stations are mostly in Great Britain, but I think there is some explanation that can be made up. I'll leave that for you though, because I'm too lazy to make an explanation. Also because I'm kinda tired to make an explanation for something. Yeah, the name was mainly chosen because it sounds pretty cool. And I have a sort of thing for British train stations because it's crazy how many they have in the big cities. For example, in London there's like, I don't know, like 15, 20 more? I don't know. So yeah. Now I'm building the road intersection, interchange. This is not an intersection because intersections are on normal roads. Interchanges are on highways. So yeah, this is an interchange. And for this interchange I'm using the basic stack interchange design, but the interchange will be a bit different in the part of the city where I was building just a moment ago, because that intersection will be a sort of weird combination between a diamond interchange and something else. It's going to be a really weird intersection. So yeah, I don't know how to name it, but yeah, it's a confusing interchange. So yeah, now I'm expanding the station to have 3 tracks because I want later on to have an airport train service going through here. I might even add another and make it a 4-track station, which would mean this is a really important station, which it probably was a long time ago, when this was like a independent part of the town. When it was independent, they just had to have a station. But I don't know, it's going to be just a station. I really don't need to complicate all the stuff with lore and other stuff. Yeah. Now I'm setting up those retaining walls to allow trains to go through, and yeah, I'm also trying to add an access to the station because for now it looks really ugly, and I then settled on the simple way of just adding a path, and for now that's how people will get in there, probably. And then I covered up with a PO. PO is procedural objects, by the way. A PO version of that office park building. So I added more I added it just to cover up the paths, but then I noticed that people are not using the path. So I tried moving the spawn point, or basically the exit and access for the station, and that didn't work. So I put, how are they called again? Yeah, those small shops that I used when building those Astargia flats. I put them here, and later on, yeah, I'll be moving the station a bit, and also, yeah, I'm expanding the retaining wall to basically hide the people using it from like going down on an invisible path. Yeah, it's a lot of things happening. By the way, I almost forgot, thank you for 60 subscribers. 60 subscribers took me longer than 6 years, which is quite, yeah, it's quite good actually. 10 subscribers per year on average. So yeah. Now I'm messing with Node Controller again. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, give it a like. If you hated it, just dislike it. But actually don't. And yeah, subscribe for more videos, and take care. Bye.